Robinson, and today I'm going to show you a great idea that you can do with the bezels from my line, Rue Romantique. And this idea is a little bit different than just putting an image in and some resin. It's going to bling your piece up just a little bit and add a little bit of dimension that perhaps didn't have before. So what you'll need is you'll need a bezel, you'll need rhinestone chain, and you'll need resin. And I prefer the plunger size resin because really this is the most user-friendly when you're first starting out. If you're very comfortable with resin, you can always do the two-part system that comes in our bottles. So I have a nice little batch of resin already mixed up, and I'm going to just use a craft stick to place a little bit of the resin in the bottom of the bezel. And I'm just moving the resin around just to make sure that this bottom surface is nice and covered. And this is going to act as my glue. And once I have that covered, I'm going to place my resin aside, and then I'm going to cut strands of the rhinestone that are going to go into the bezel. And I just use a simple pair of wire cutters for this. If you have a really sharp pair of scissors, you can use that as well. And this piece is already pre-cut. I cut it earlier, so I'm just going to show you how I go about lining it within the bezel. So start at the point. It's easiest to start at the center point, and then move your rhinestones around. And this really covers your perimeter, and this will allow you to fill in the rest of the bezel. And then once you do that, you're just going to continue cutting the rhinestones. And I'm just going to do it kind of in a random manner because I like them to really fill so there's a lot of depth. And I start from one point and go straight down. And you could certainly go around the perimeter of the inside of that first strand that you place. No problem. But this is a little bit easier just because you're doing straight strands instead of having to curve. And just a little tip, if you get resin on your fingers while you're working with this, a baby wipe or a moist towel will take it right off. Or you could use gloves. Gloves are a really good thing to have on hand. So now I'm going to go ahead and just continuing to add strands into my heart and just trimming as I go. To fill the bezel with the rhinestones, and I've cut my final strand and I'm just placing it in there. And now what you can do is you can either add another layer of the resin over the rhinestones, or you can just let this dry for 6 to 12 hours and your rhinestones will be nice and secure in your bezel. So this is just an alternative way to fill your bezel with something other than an image and some resin.